The great Teddy Atlas picked Wilder to win.
Oh.
We had Sean Porter on. He picked Wilder to win.
A lot of people, right?
Skip and Shannon picked Wilder to win. You had Wilder in 8. I had him in 10.
Stephen A. You could go on and on and on, and people just were wrong. We were all wrong, big time.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this, Rob. Here's my breakdown of the fight. When Tyson Fury said that he was going to attack and knock out Deontay Wilder, he was saying that all up, until the fight. I thought he was just either two things really, trying to get into Wilder's head about what my strategy is going to be and confuse him, and also trying to sell the fight. Because I would not have been surprised if Fury had won on points in a 12-round
if it went
decision.
the distance,
right? Just outboxed him and all, because he's obviously a much better boxer. But the fact that he actually did go on the attack and just destroyed Wilder, just mauled him, that was what was surprising. And here's my thing, and I've said this is not new. This is not, Chris reacting because Wilder got beat. I have said this ever since Deontay Wilder became a big fixture in the heavyweight division. He can't box. He cannot box. He has one thing, and that is that right hand, and it is one of the most powerful punches we've ever seen in the heavyweight division or in boxing, period. But that is it. Luis Ortiz was beating him, pitching basically a shutout recently, and Wilder caught him and knocked him out.
And that's usually how he gets it done. But a guy who's skillful, like Fury
is very skillful,
right? And I think that is what Chris, if he doesn't get that, like in the first fight, he knocked him down, twice, right? So if he doesn't get that shot and keep the guy down, he can lose. And we just saw it in this case. But I don't think anybody signed up for this. I was surprised at how defensive on the defensive he was, and how much trouble he was in.
I
during
thought
that
right
fight.
away, like when Fury went on the attack and he actually sprinted out to the middle of the ring in the first round, Wilder was backing up the entire fight. And I remember in the first round saying, this is not good. Like, he's got to do
He was defensive,
something.
right.
But because that right hand he throws, he steps forward with the left foot and then almost lunges into you with the right hand. And that's one reason he gets so much power on it. But when you're backing up, you can't do that.
Teddy Atlas is here. We were watching a round-by-round scoring. You gave round 2 to Wilder, and from there on out, it was all Fury. What happened?
Well, first of all, full disclosure.
Full disclosure.
I picked Wilder to win. Figured the eraser would take care of a lot of sins. Tonight it didn't. Also, full disclosure, I've been saying from the beginning of his career that Wilder, and with a lot of attacking, when I say it, especially from Wilder's people, that Wilder can't fight. Can't fight. Never learned how to fight. But punches are not made. They are born. And he was born with that great eraser, with that thunderbolt in the right hand. But tonight, it wasn't there to pull him out of the fire. It wasn't there to say. Tonight he got exposed because he doesn't know how to fight, because his technique is so good. And all credit to Fury. And I was talking about it, that instead of being a Ferrari, he decided to be a Jeep.
Yeah.
Jeeps can be good. Jeeps can go up terrain. Jeeps can, go up hills. Jeeps can crash into things. Jeeps can knock things down. And my point was that he was going to have a kamikaze attitude.
Yeah.
And he did. It was to just not care. Sometimes maybe it's good not to care. Maybe it's good not to care, to just go in there and go after it. And that's what Fury did tonight. He didn't try to box. He didn't use his greatest assets, his legs, his elusive ability. He used his size, his determination, and he took advantage of a guy who was there to be taken advantage. A guy whose technique was there to fail him on any given night, and his power was there to save him on any given night. Tonight, his technique failed him, and his power, never got a chance to save him.
Well, I thought it was going to be a walkover for Wilder. Fury had been inactive for years. He had 2 fights against D-level opponents. After his inactivity ceased, and I didn't look at him as any sort of challenge for Wilder. Wilder is a one-trick pony. He's not a very good boxer. He, as a matter of fact, is an atrocious boxer. But he has that one weapon, and that is this massive right hand, which to me looks like the hardest hitting right hand that I've seen, certainly since George Foreman.
You know, talk is cheap. It's the cheapest thing to buy on earth is talk. I'm an elite level fighter. I'm not one of those tomato cans he's knocked out. So you better watch what he's saying and, you know, have a reality check, because when they come to me and him to face, I know what I'm capable of doing. That's all that matters at the end of the day. I can say all of this, but I just know who I am, and that's all that matters.
You say that you're an elite level fighter. Will his place as an elite level fighter be in question if he loses for a second time to Tyson Fury?
He ain't an elite level fighter. He ain't an elite level fighter, in my opinion. He's good. It's heavyweights. So they always know one punch can change the course of a fight. But I've never ever seen in the heavyweight division of a fighter going to war with one weapon in his arsenal, which is what they say is his right hand. But when you get to top level, trust me, that don't last anymore. That don't work. So as we've seen now with certain fights of elite level fighters, he struggles at top level. And there's a lot more of us waiting for that opportunity as well to kick his ass. So yeah, he's going to struggle when he comes to fight people like myself and other heavyweights.
Daniel Taylor, if AJ wins, who would you pick next? Wilder at Wembley?
They want me to fight Mike Tyson, Wilder, Mike Tyson again, Wilder again, Tyson Fury, put him in under the knife, chop him up a bit, get him back to fighting weight, back to Wilder. But you know what, right? This little devil on my shoulder, the fighting man, says Wilder at Wembley, boom. And then this devil on my shoulder, the manager hat, says, what's best to guide my career? So it's playing devil's advocate, putting them together and seeing what works out best for my career, do you know what I mean?
But
So-
Wilder at Wembley?
It depends. I think if it's pushed that way, it has to happen. And I just think, I'm going to do things my way, innit? If Wilder works, we're going to make it happen. If Wilder isn't the right opponent for next year, then we'll put it back on into 2019. But I'm just going to do things my way. People just can't rush my career. That's one thing I've learned, is that I've got a career, I need to map it out. I'm going to take fights at the right time for me. And yeah, if it's next year or the year after or the year after, when I fight him, I'll be in a position to beat him.
I find it funny when you say, even though you're world champion, people don't rush. I don't want people to rush my career. Like, you're still learning. I'm thinking, you're the top of the tree.
It's mad. It's mad.
But so that hunger as champion makes you even more dangerous.
I don't believe Wilder's ever faced a puncher like me in his whole career. Don't forget, Wilder fought 35 bums. 34 actually, because he's had about 5 real fights. People who, on European level, who turned up to win and fight. And I can name them. Stavern the first time, turned up. And it was a good fight. That was his first live opponent. The Frenchman Johan de Wappes, he's not a world-class man, he's just a good European level trier. Closed all his eye for him, got to him a lot. He never hurt de Wappes once in the fight. First man, he showed him a little bit of movement, Arthur Spilker. A lot smaller than me, 6'3" man, light, sharp, struggled with him. Gerard Washington, a man with no experience, but up until he knocked him out was winning all the rounds. Who's not really a fighting man anyway, just a football player.
Ref stopped it as well.
Yeah. Chris Arreola, give him a good fight. He never knocked Arreola. Arreola retired in his corner because he was over the hill and passed his best. Took him 8-9 rounds. And then he fought Stavern again, which I'm not counting, so it's still on 5. And then he's fought Ortiz. And Ortiz is 147 years old, everybody knows that. So that's 6 real opponents. The rest of them were there to lose. And out of them 6, who really come to win? Who believed they was going to win? Did Duapas think he was going to win, taking a fight in 3 weeks' notice? I don't think so. Did the Polish lad really believe he was going to win after getting knocked out by Brian Jennings in 9 rounds? I don't think so. So that just takes 6 down to 4. And then you've got Gerard Washington, an inexperienced novice who turned up for a paycheck. I'm going to say it, he wasn't on that level and he knew he wasn't. So that takes it down to 3. Stavern the first time believed he could defeat Wilder because he didn't know much about Wilder. So that's one man who believed he could win. And Ortiz, he believed he could win. But Ortiz had problems before the fight, which is well documented. And he probably shouldn't have boxed, but he still gave him a good fight. So there's 2 men. Out of all them men who believed Arreola, he didn't believe he was going to win the fight, just turning up for a payday. So out of his 6 live opponents, only maybe 2 of them believed they could win it. You ain't messing with a man who believes he can win a fight against some boxer. You're messing with a man who believes he can win a fight against an army.
Many people consider Canelo the pound-for-pound king. Others say it might be you. Who indeed is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world today?
I don't know about pound for pound, but I know I'm the best fighter that's ever lived. Never mind pound for pound. The best looking, the best talker, the best dressed, best everything.